What's up, everybody? Fans of Yen Press, Bofuri, thanks for watching our video. A few months back, we took some questions on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to ask Bofuri creator Yuumikan, and now we have them, and we're gonna read them off to you, or I'm gonna read the questions, and we have a couple of people to read the answers, and who better to read the answers than one of the editors of the Bofuri light novel and the voice actress of Maple herself, the English voice actress of Maple herself. So Ivan, Megan, why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'll get started. My name's Ivan. You may remember me from our last video, but I also edit the Bofuri light novel, which is very fun, and I'm happy to read these answers to you guys.
Hi, my name is Megan Shipman. I am the English voice of Maple in Bofuri on Funimation. And Yen Press was super awesome. And I really wanted to do something with them because I was excited because the manga and the light novels were coming out in English. And I was like super hyped because I love Bofuri and I loved working on it. So I'm really excited that they were down to reach out and do a fun video together. So yay!
Well, before we get started, how about we talk a little bit more about your relationship with Bofuri? So, Ivan, how did you first learn about this series, and how's it been working on it?
So I first learned about the series. Well, I heard about the series a long time ago, back when it first came out, and I was like, all right, this seems like a fun, cute, like little isekai story. But then after that, I was like, all right, I have a lot of other isekai stories that are actually on my plate that I have to worry about. So I pretty much put it out of my mind until the first volume actually hit my desk. And I was like, oh, I remember you. And I was like, now we're going to get to know each other. And then once I started, I was just kind of expecting it to be like a short, sweet kind of story. And then I was like, oh, I'm hooked. This is awesome. It's like such a fresh breath of air. Because like, the isekai genre is like obviously very saturated, and Bofuri was just kind of like, I don't know, it's like it put the fun back into it. Like sometimes like these isekai stories can get very serious or very hardcore, and Bofuri was just like, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna have a good time with it. And I was like, yes, I can get on board with this. So yeah, that's how I got started with Bofuri.
Nice.
For me, it was I was laying in bed one night, and my wonderful friend Natalie Hoover, who was going to be directing the show, and she was casting the show, and she was like, hey, would you be down? Are you available? Do you have enough time to be this girl Maple in Bofuri? It's the lead. Just want to make sure you have enough time. So I just was like reading the text, and of course I'm in bed and I do a little happy dance in my head because it's so fun anytime you get to work on anything. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm super excited. And then I started, Googling on my phone. I was like, okay, what is Bofuri? What does Maple look like? And all that stuff. And she was so cute. And we were texting back and forth, and because she was directing it, so she'd done a little bit of research about what the series was, and she'd been doing her homework. And so she was like, oh, I can't wait. You're going to love it. It's super fun. It's super adorable. It's just cute girls playing video games and just having a good time. And it's super fun. And yeah, like you said, it is kind of a breath of fresh air. And I think that's why people have really loved it so much, because like you said, the isekais can get really, really serious, and they're great, but it's so fun to just see people playing video games, having fun. There are stakes because, there's competitions in the games and events, but it's still just fun because they can log off at the end of the day, and Maple and the guild members don't take it too seriously. It's not like, oh, we lost, we suck, They're just like, oh, well, we'll try next time. And so it's always really fun and it's refreshing. And I think people were like, wow, slice of life and isekai? What? Yes. So I think that was something that people were like, oh, this is great. It's two wonderful genres just kind of had a awesome anime baby. And then so people loved it.
Yes. How's working in lockdown been in general?
It's been really fun. I was living in an apartment, so I was recording in my closet, and then we had bought a house before the lockdown really happened. It was like a new build. So we moved in September, and now I have my own. I'm not at that house right now because we're in the middle of the Dallas Snowmageddon. It's really awesome. So we're at my in-laws' house because they have power and water, which we don't have at our house.
Yippee!
So we trekked over here, and so we could, just live and because I think not having water was the big one. We were like, okay, we have to leave because we have to have water. So
water's important.
Kind of important. So yeah, that's why we have all the dogs here, because my in-laws have dogs too. So, but no, working on it at home, I have my whole closet I have a closet dedicated to be a booth. I have my whole setup and shindig at home, which I would have done. I've been rescheduling a bunch of stuff this week. I was like, well, I can't record, so. But I can do this. This is no problem. So
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really fun working from home. It was kind of a shift, and I think now that people have gotten the hang of it, everyone's like, okay, now we know what to do. We know what programs to use. We know what works and what doesn't. So yeah, it's slowly getting better and better and more efficient. But yeah, it's the beginning. It was just like, what? Let's just throw spaghetti at the wall, I guess, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I can only imagine what the start was like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was everything kind of came to a standstill for a few months, because I think the only show that Funimation at least was really working on was My Hero, because we were finishing up the end of season 4, which I was in the end of season 4, so I was like, I was a guinea pig. They were like, does this work? So that was something. But yeah, now everyone's kind of got it figured out. Everyone has kind of zhuzhed up their home spaces, and everyone's kind of, all the actors have kind of used it as an excuse to get nice microphones and things. And like, yay!
Always good.
So, but hey, business, tax write-off. Yeah. So
very, very delicious.
That's the good thing. That's the good thing.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm glad the recording's still going on. This would be a fun little content for a director's cut of our Q&A.
I know.
We're going to have like a bloopers and extra.
Exactly. So
it'll be just 20 minutes of my dogs barking.
Hey, someone would watch that. Someone would absolutely go into that.
They would.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to read off the answers to the questions that you all asked on social media, starting with this one. So thank you for all your hard work creating Bofuri. How did you take a common light novel theme and come up with such an original, delightful story?
I guess I'll take this first one. And Yuumikan's answer was, I just looked at the things I like that other people like and tried to put those into the story. The response was much better than I'd anticipated, and I'm still surprised. So that's interesting.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I when I looked at it, I was like, this has got to be good. Like, this can't be terror. Like, there's no way this could be bad. It's like the things that I want in like a story, and I was like, yes, let's have this. Yeah,
that's really cute. I love, and it is kind of things that everyone likes, and it was just kind of let's just put all the good things in a story, and that's, I mean, you can't really go wrong. So
I mean, cute girls playing games, like fun, cute isekai. I'm like, I'm sold. Say no more, fam. Say no more.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
I think it's definitely the most pleasant example of this type of story that I've seen. Yeah. That's an understatement. Every other isekai I have voiced in, it's like do or die.
Oh yeah.
The stakes are 1000% all the time. There's no middle ground.
Oh man.
So having a nice delightful, like, oh, here's a cute tree. Let's live in the tree. Oh yay, I found an egg and now it has a turtle. I'm so happy. Like, it's the best. It's just the best.
Yes.
All right, next question. How long does it take to finish writing a volume?
The answer that the lovely Yuumikan said was maybe 50 hours. That may not be accurate. And I relate to this question because sometimes people go, "How long does it take to make an episode of anime?" And I'm like, and then I'm like the GIF of that lady with all the equations,
The math
running.
one with the numbers.
Yeah, I'm like, because So it is. I'm sure it's more than 50 hours because if it's anything like making an episode of anime, because just recording and just doing the dubbing for that is like, I mean, for me, for one episode, it was, and Maple talks the most in the episodes. So maybe like 15 hours of recording, depending on the episode. I mean, it's a lot. And then you do that times however many other people are in the episode, and it's crazy. So yeah, it probably does take a long time, and there's probably editing and all kinds of things. So I feel like 50 is a very safe number, a very low number.
Very modest estimate there. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, next up, many light novels that deal with gaming feature male protagonists. What made you decide to give Bofuri a female protagonist?
Yuumikan's answer was, that's just what I wanted to write, which, perfect.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's like, well, I just want to write this story, and I don't, if it's great and people like it, then great. And if not, then I guess I'll write another one later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think that's what is kind of that's kind of what made it such a great thing. It's like, well, I don't really care what other people think. I'm just going to write what I want to write, and I'm going to put all these fun things in here, and if people like it, then great. And I think that's probably what helped it be so fun and lovely.
That's 100%. Quintessential Bofuri right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like, just everything anti the standard. It's just what I want to do. Protagonist, sweet slice of life vibe. I feel like when I think of the protagonists of these type of series, they're usually on attack mode, but we have a character here who is on defense mode, and it worked out quite well. Yeah. Right. Next question. Bofuri has a lot of comedic moments. How are you able to add those funny parts in so smoothly? And how do you come up with these silly approaches to such an overpowered protagonist? Maple exceeds expectations in some of the most creative and hilarious ways.
Yuumikan's answer for this one was, the comedy mostly comes from Maple. I think that's the natural result of her unexpected ideas for how to win battles. But her approaches are always unorthodox, and there's any number of more typical routes to get ahead. I try to maintain balance by making it clear that following conventional strategies would get you to the same place. I'm glad you think her abilities are hilarious, though. I always hope people will laugh at the same things I do. Yes, unconventional is an understatement.
Oh yeah, like I do appreciate that Yuumikan goes to like the lengths to be like, normal people don't do this, and it's normally fine. But Maple is not a normal person.
Oh yeah, I think the comedy comes from taking someone who hasn't really played a video game like this, quite MMO or RPG type of game, and putting someone in there who's trying to figure it out for themselves. And their friend who's like super into the game, she's like, oh yeah, I gotta take a few days because my mom is getting on my case about homework and stuff, so I got to buckle down for a few days, but don't worry, you can get started. It'll be fine, and she goes in and she's like, well, okay, I'll just figure it out. And so she's just going around doing normal people things. And she's just like, okay, well, I want defense. And so then it's this mix of figuring things out in an unconventional way, because she doesn't really read the instructions, I guess, that normal people, because she hasn't played these games. So most people do things the normal way, put all your stats evenly. And
right.
But yeah, so I think the comedy comes from Maple just being so like, I've never played a game like this before, and then figuring things out, but not really, and just doing it for herself and not really relying on people to be like, what should I do? And she's just like, well, this makes sense to me, so I'll just do it. And then it kind of breaks the game on accident. So
just every
it's
time.
Great. Yeah, it's very funny, and it's always hilarious. I think I rewatched a couple of episodes the other day, and I was just like, man, this is so funny, because I forgot how funny she is in the beginning. She's like, I walk so slow, and she's like, God, probably because I didn't think about that. And you're like,
like,
yes, Maple, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You'll get there in your own time.
Yeah, you'll eventually get there. Don't worry about it.
You'll get there
Maple.
eventually. It's fine. But yeah, so yeah, it's super funny. So yes, we all do think that your humor is hilarious, Yuumikan, because we all think it's hilarious.
Unanimous.
So next question is, do you have a favorite Bofuri character?
Yuumikan's answer is, unsurprisingly, Maple and Sally are my favorites. They're the main characters after all, which I pretty much 100% agree with. Maple is definitely my favorite character.
I really love Syrup. I'm not biased at all. I love riding giant syrup into battle and
my God,
murdering things.
That was the best.
It's so funny and it's adorable, and you're just like, she's just like, oh, and that's another one of those just funny moments where she's like, oh, I have this thing where I can make something big. Well, why don't I just use it on my turtle? Like, duh. And then everyone's like, what?
Why would you do that? And it's like, because it's an awesome time.
Because it's a turtle?
Who doesn't do that to their turtles?
Yeah, it's so funny. So yeah, I love Syrup. And also Natalie Hoover, the wonderful director, she voiced Syrup as well. So she was super duper cute.
That's
so
awesome.
Maple and Syrup were the tag team during recording. It was great. It was wonderful.
That's amazing. I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun. I remember Natalie told me a lot of times if a director wants to be in a show they are directing, they usually ask permission to be like, is it okay if I like put myself in the show? And they were like, yeah, it's fine. So she was really excited to be Syrup. Like she was like, I love this turtle. So she was like, I need to be the turtle.
I need this part.
Yeah, it was great. So, and she was super, super cute. I was just like, you're too cute. I can't handle it. So Syrup's my favorite character.
That was the best
That's
insider
so
story ever.
unexpected. I swear, I swear you were going to say, I thought we were all just going to say Maple, but here we have a curveball. It's
Syrup.
I figured that would be cheating. So I was like, I'll give a different one. I won't cheat.
Alternative answer.
Yeah.
Speaking of Maple, is there any specific reason you chose the name Maple?
Yuumikan said, no real story to it. Nothing beyond Maple being a translation of her real name, Kaede.
That's it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah. Even when we recorded, they like in the anime, they're like, she's like, what do I name myself? Okay, I'll just like use the English version of my name, I guess. It's like beep boop done, and you're like, oh, all right. No thought behind it. That's fine.
Very straightforward.
But it's cute. It's really cute. And it ends up being super cute because Syrup and Maple Syrup.
Yes!
And it's the best.
It's still name a more iconic duo.
It's amazing. It's perfect. The perfect duo.
Okay.
All right, next question. Which of Maple's abilities is your favorite?
Yuumikan says, that's a tough question. They're all irreplaceable. So to have to go with all of them, which is, I mean, fair. I guess if you're the creator, you could just do that.
I mean, yeah.
Who's going to say no?
Yeah. I think I yelled Hydra about 600 billion trillion times. Even though they all sound the same, I did every single one of them every time. I promise. But I got really excited to scream Hydra because it's so fun and like badass and like you're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill things, and it's really fun. So. It's like Maple was so fun. That's just another reason Maple's fun because you know you get to do all the sweet and cute things, but then she also does these really cool like fights and amazing like battle cries, and it's kind of the best of both worlds for an anime and especially for a voice actor because we like doing it all. So
nice.
Yeah, it was Hydra. I think Hydra's my favorite. Also the acid rain. When she rides Maple and makes a cloud of acid to kill all the enemies. So she's like, yeah, then I won't get hurt. And you're like, well, yes, you're right. You won't get hurt. Sure. So yeah, I love it.
Oh man. Yeah, my favorite would probably just be anything that's poison it's just like Maple is introduced as this like very adorable, sweet looking character. She doesn't really know what she's doing, and then she's like, you know what would be nice? Poison, a lot of poison, and people are like,
poison everyone.
What is going on? And it's just like massive poison, and the gap is perfect. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so good. Oh man, poison.
Next,
Good stuff.
All right, this next one might be the most important question of this Q&A. How did you make me fall in love with a 2D turtle?
Exactly. Yuumikan's answer was, I think a big part of this is definitely how appealing the voice acting was. Syrup is so darn cute. It makes the cutest noises, especially in Japanese and also in English, again, because Natalie was so freaking stinking cute. Just the cutest noises ever. So yeah, it's good. It's so cute.
Yeah, just like second runner up is the rabbit, Mr. Bunny. That sounds so adorable.
Poor Mr. Bunny.
Mr. Bunny. Oh.
Mr. Bunny.
The adorable bunny sounds, and then the cry of tragedy.
Just absolute heartbreak. She's just like, no! Like she stands there for like 2 hours with him, and she's like, you got it, Mr. Bunny. You can do it. You're doing awesome. And then she just accidentally hits it, and she's like, no! And
then
so
it's
funny.
Just over. It's so good. That's
so
gotta
sad.
be like my favorite.
I love Mr. Bunny.
Oh, so
I forgot. Oh,
Mr. Bunny.
Mr.
Cry every
Bunny.
time.
I know.
All right, the next question. Is Bofuri based on the kind of game you would like to play, or is it style after games you already have experience with?
So Yuumikan says, certainly my own gaming experience has been an influence, but when it came to writing the story, I tried to imagine what sort of game Maple and Sally would want to play, and ended up with this. The story required it to be this kind of game. I'm hoping that the ending will make that very clear.
Ooh,
which is very, very juicy. I have no idea what that means, and I'm like desperate to know more, because I mean, like, I do play a ton of games, and it is interesting, like, having Maple approach it as like someone who doesn't know games, but and then Yuumikan coming in with Sally, and it being very obvious that the game is still very central to like the plot overall, which is not always true for like gaming isekais, which I also found very interesting because they actually play the game. There are other gaming isekais where it's like, all right, here's a game isekai, and then like they throw the whole game part out the window. It's just like, now it's just real life, and I'm like, all right, I guess. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what it is.
Yeah, me too. Because it is fun, and that's part of the whole thing. Like they do events, and they do quests, and all kinds of really fun things, and dungeons, and they stick to just playing the game. And all the fun really does come from what they do in the game, and fighting other guilds during events, and kicking Payne's butt. I had to rub it in. My friend Cliff Chapin, he voiced Payne, and I was like, I kicked your butt, dude. He was like, so whatever. I was like, it was really fun. Anytime I can kind of nag on Cliff, it's really fun. But yeah, it is just fun because it's just a game, and they play the game, and that's where all the fun comes from. I also think I've heard a lot of people say it's such a realistic kind of game because it really does have. It seems like it's a game that anyone would want to play. It has the same mechanics, and they're easy to grasp. And so it seems like it is a very real, living, breathing game, as opposed to like, oh, here's this really cool game, and now we don't, like you said, like now we're just going to throw that out the window because we have other things, because we got to save the world in the video game. But yeah, so I think a lot of it is just, it's so relatable because people are like, oh yeah, like I've played this game or whatever, and I did events, and I've done that, and I totally get that feeling, and so I think it's really nice to have the game actually be a part of what is happening in the story. That's where all the fun comes from.
Definitely.
All right. Next up, do you have any favorite hobbies or things you enjoy doing?
Yuumikan says, I read a fair bit and try to get my exercise in as well. I enjoy basketball in particular. Fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm a big
Yeah.
basketball guy. So Yuumikan, I think we need to be friends. If you ever make a US appearance, and I'm saying this right here, and I guarantee if you come, I will pay for your New York Knicks ticket. You come to any of the New
Why are you
York
trying to
conventions.
sneak in with Yuumikan through this video?
I love light novels and I love basketball. So to have a light novel who loves basketball, you know, we're gonna connect. I know for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Best friends. You'll have like a charm bracelet, everything. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Next up, do you like to travel? Is there any place you'd like to visit?
Yuumikan says, I would like to, but I always seem to end up not for one reason or another. I do like traveling, though, whether alone or in groups. Which,
Well, you know, if you travel to New York, like I said, you know, New York Knicks.
Again!
So.
You did it twice!
Wow,
Oh
two
my God.
questions where I'm able to sneak that invite there. How convenient, huh?
Man.
Oh my God.
It's your lucky day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Next up, how is your day?
Yuumikan says, I usually play some games and read a bit. Then I take that as input and churn out a productive output, then rinse and repeat. Which makes sense. I mean, if you're writing a whole book about video games, I mean, what better way? What better way than to play video games? And, you know, it's inspiration.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, especially when I'm editing. Like Bofuri, I definitely looked up and like, I didn't play games because that probably wouldn't fly over very well with the bosses, but I do look up a lot of gaming references when I'm just editing it. And, you know, clearly I'm not coming up with the original idea. So I can only imagine how much work goes into like all the research.
Right. Into making basically a game that functions as a game, but it's not
pretty much
real, but it still has to be real.
It has to be real enough.
Right.
Next up, were you surprised by the anime's popularity? Are you pleased with how the anime adapted your story?
Yuumikan says, thoroughly satisfied. I think the novels, manga, and anime each have an appeal of their own. And the anime made a few tweaks that really resulted in impressive payouts. I could never have done that on my own, so I'm constantly astonished by the power of the anime staff, which sounds like a resounding yes to watch the anime.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, the director, Natalie, on our end, she was really excited to direct the show because she saw that Studio Silverlink was animating it. And she was like, oh, they've come out with this anime and this many anime, and they do amazing, like really cool fight scenes, and it'll be really pretty. And yeah, it was so beautiful. The show is beautiful from beginning to end, which, you know, sometimes it's a very rare treat to have a show that looks so nice all the way through during just like a simulcast. You know, they'll go back and fix a lot of things for Blu-ray and stuff, but to have something look so high quality all the way through for simulcast is just amazing. And yeah, the story was great. And it really does make you just want to watch another episode and another one and another one. Whether it's just because, wow, that was such a funny episode and I just want to see what Maple does next, or there's cliffhangers that they're in the middle of this big event and they're trying to get points, or they're going to have a big fight. Like, it's just really, really, really fun. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. For something that's like, that we've talked about is like low stakes. Every time an episode ended, I was like, more, another. So yeah, definitely watch the anime if you haven't yet. The books, originals, amazing. Original idea, super good. Manga, amazing adaptation. But anime, definitely watch it.
Yeah, I cannot wait. we're lucky here. We have a Kinokuniya store. And so back when we got the show, our Kinokuniya there's an English section, and they also have a Japanese section in the Kinokuniya.
Nice.
And so I have the first 2 volumes in Japanese of
very
Bofuri, because I was like, I just want something to have, because I always like to have, I always have a little shelf in my house of like, if I can find something with a character I voice on it, I'll just put it on the little shelf.
That's awesome.
And it's really fun to have, and that way I can remember everything I've done, and it's just fun. And so, yeah, I have the first 2 books, one with Maple and Sally on the cover. So I was like, it'd be perfect to just have the 2 of them. And so it's really cute. So I can't wait to like have them in English. When I saw the tweet, we're like, it's coming. And I was like, yes!
It's coming.
I was like, yes, I can buy them and read them.
It's coming soon.
So excited.
So next question. How did you and Jiro Oimoto meet? And that's the mangaka of the manga adaptation of Bofuri. Did you know them before they were chosen to draw the manga? And did you choose them, or was it decided by someone else?
Yuumikan said, I was introduced by the editors during discussions about the manga adaptation. I had them draw a few pictures of the characters, and they really captured Maple and Sally, which I think is really nice. It's just kind of like, yeah, you found them, and it's really nice to, and especially if like these characters are probably very special to Yuumikan. So I think it's nice to have someone to work with and find someone to work with that can really bring your story to life and all those special moments, but just the way that you want them to be. I think it's nice.
Yeah, I work on the light novels predominantly, but I've seen the manga and can confirm Maple and Sally are just as cute in the manga as they are in every other place. So also definitely worth a look.
All right, next one. Do you know how you'd like the Bofuri series to end? Are you planning on keeping it going for a while?
Yuumikan says, I do have a plan for the ending, and I'd like it to end in proper Bofuri style, which is another extremely, extremely ambiguous and extremely exciting answer, and it makes me want to know what Yuumikan's talking about.
Me too. I'm so desperate. I'm just like, tell me. I want to know so bad.
I assume it's just something absolutely mind-blowing, because I don't know, every time, like, there are times where admittedly, even if a story is really good or like I'm really excited, a lot of times I feel like I can kind of tell what's going to happen next. For Bofuri, I can honestly say I have no idea what like the next chapter, next episode is going to be. I'm always like, all right, yeah, giant flying turtle. I saw that coming. No, I didn't. I absolutely did not.
You never know what Maple's going to pull, because it's just like, or what random rare item she will find by complete luck and chance. Yes. Like what'll she find next? Who knows? So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that, again, I haven't really read or watched anything past what is in the manga or in the anime. But I really hope that maybe it's in the light novels, that I hope the Maple Tree Guild and Payne's Guild have a really cool rematch soon, because that was like a battle of wits and also a battle of brawn, and it was so good.
That was a good time.
It was really great.
It was a good one.
So I can't imagine how it's going to end. And watch it. It'll probably be something nobody expects. It'll just be like, okay, and we're done.
That's yeah. That's like the one thing I'm sure of about the ending, is that it's going to be something totally, like, people are going to be like, I did not see that coming.
Oh yeah, it'll make complete sense in the story, but nobody will know what it will be until it happens. And then you'll be like, I didn't see that coming, but yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right. Just like the flying turtle. Like, yeah, sure.
Very on brand.
I think we've established that that's sort of the essence of Bofuri, is being unexpected.
Yes.
So I think that's the only thing we can expect, that it's going to be an unexpected ending.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And we're all here for it. So, and you know what? Awesome. For us, we're just starting the light novels and the manga, so we have a while to go. But for you, Megan, it's cool that the anime is going to continue. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited, because they have said that they're making, I think I just read that it was coming out in 2022. And I was trying to explain to my husband, I was like, man, it's getting a season 2. I was like, that's such a big deal for anime nowadays. Like a lot of animes are like 12 episodes and we're done. And, that's kind of it. And so if something gets a season 2, it must mean people really like it. And it's something people really want to see. So I'm really excited. Fingers crossed that we'll get to dub season 2. I'm like, please, please, please. So I'll have to wait till 2022. But I'm excited. I'm so excited because I really want to see what happens next. So
yeah.
Let's see. Next question. Were you excited for your novel and its manga adaptation to get an English language release?
Yuumikan says, of course, if nobody reads a novel, then it only belongs to the author. The more new readers it reaches and entertains, the better, which I think is wonderful.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like, whenever we're working on this stuff, and I'm sure, like, for you guys working on the anime too, like, the whole point is to have, like, let it reach more people, right?
Right.
That's why we're working so hard to bring it into English, and the tens of hundreds of hours.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing that I think, everyone on the internet loves to argue about, like, I like dubs, I like subs. This is like a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
It is.
But I think a lot of people, I think that, underneath that little, bickering, I think it's important to have releases from companies, whether and in English or whatever, because it lets you buy something without having to import it, because sometimes importing can be very expensive. And in Japan they usually do a lot of, like, each Blu-ray has only like 2 or 3 episodes versus the whole thing, because they come out with special things through. It's crazy. So it does make it. It's a whole thing in Japan. It's a whole culture, and so it allows people that don't have the ability or don't want to pay to import every single Blu-ray. They it's all about accessibility and letting people watch stories and have a good time. And yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason that we do this job, right? It's so more and more people can just enjoy the things that we already love, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, I'm excited. I'm going to, like, get on Amazon and be like, pre-order all of them. The minute I can, I'll be like, pre-order now. So I'm excited. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. People will be like, yeah, it's like, once you started working in, like, anime and manga and novels, did you like stop buying them? It's like, no, it's been very bad for my wallet, actually. It's like, I've started buying a lot more.
It's actually worse, because whenever I voice a character, I'm like, okay, time to Google any merchandise I can buy, which my husband is like, please don't let there be much. And, some of them have quite a few figures. So I'm like, time to buy all of them. So, and I think Maple is getting an Android. I think I saw in one of the previews that they do, the big conventions they do where they announce a bunch. So I think a while back said Maple's getting one. I was like, yeah, more Androids.
All right, last but not least, do you have any advice for aspiring light novel writers?
And Yuumikan's answer is start writing whenever you get the chance. The results will be your story. Something only you can write. Take that first step and go on to do something better than I ever could, which is a really cool answer.
I know, yeah. That's so humble, so wonderfully humble. Like, so great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that in just based on Yuumikan's answers, I'm sure that Yuumikan got to this point just by being like, I just wrote what I wanted to write, and that's what you should do too. So, I mean... that's kind of when people are like, back when conventions were a thing and I was going places and people are like, how did you do this? I was like, yeah, conventions, rest in peace until we can meet again. One day. Yeah, people would always be like, how are you doing voice acting? Like, it's so cool. And I would always just be like, I just kind of... a mix of talent, luck, and luck again. I just kind of, I auditioned and then I'm like, well, hope they like me. I did all I can do. And then luckily they don't hate me. So they keep calling me back for more. So yeah, it's really fun. So, yeah, it's that kind of thing where you're just like,
you kind of start, once you get to a point, you look back and you're like, how did I get to do something so cool that so many people love and enjoy? And it's like, I just kind of did a thing and it worked. And so that's so relatable. So relatable.
100%. I mean, people ask us a lot that question a lot too. You know, when we're at conventions, they're like, "How do you get into the industry? How do you just like get started? If I'm creative, where do I get my foot in the door?" And the answer is really just like do what you love, and read up on it, see what you can do, and then just do it. Because
you just tweet at Yen Press and beg for them to put you in a video.
It's like, can we do a video sometime? Wink, wink. XOXO.
I think my tweet even said, "I'm just going to shoot my shot here, but please at Yen Press. Hi, I would love to do more Bofuri things. Thank you." And look, it worked. So
it worked.
It worked.
You miss all the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott.
Yuumikan.
Yuumikan, Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. Chain of events.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Well, that's it for today. So big thanks to Yuumikan for answering these questions.
Thank you, Yuumikan.
Ivan and Megan for being Yuumikan for this Q&A.
It was a pleasure being Yuumikan.
Yes, thank you.
And of course, thank you to the fans who provided the questions, and thank you for your support for such a great series. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Be sure to check our adaptation of the Bofuri manga and light novels, and be sure to check out the Bofuri English dub from Funimation. Until next time.